Shout out to Mustafa and James. Thanks so much for subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for regular uploads and your chance to be included in shoutouts for future videos. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is not a soap making video, as probably a lot of you are well aware now that I said in my last video last week. It was supposed to, this next week's video, which is this one, is not going to be a soap making video. It's going to be a video talking about my condition, fibromyalgia, which is a central nervous system disorder. And I've been suffering with this symptoms first started back in 2015, but they were really mild. They were just more chronic fatigue and just being really tired and lethargic and not feeling the best. But then, come 2018, 2019, vertigo sort of started hitting in, and I started to get really nauseous. I couldn't really travel in the morning. I'll have to wait like closest to midday if I was going to travel in a car or on a bus or whatever the case is, because I'll get extreme motion sickness. And of course I went to my doctor, and again, it went undiagnosed and undetected for a really, really long time. It was mistaken. Actually, we thought that I was having multiple sclerosis, because a lot of multiple sclerosis and fibromyalgia symptoms are very similar, even though the two diseases are very, very different. The way they show symptoms are the same, but in terms of what's going on internally is completely different. So multiple sclerosis is when your immune system starts damaging your nerves in your body and in your spinal cord and anywhere really. Like it can affect the brain, it can affect the spinal cord, and you get lesions and scarring going along your spinal cord. And we thought that was something maybe I had. So I went and did the appropriate testing, and everything came back negative. But it took a long time for me to find a doctor to actually listen to me, because it was just all sort of shrugged off of being anxiety disorder, or I'm just overworked, or I'm just not sleeping enough. And of course, I was believing that up until a point where I couldn't believe that was what was happening to me. Because generally I'm not a person that suffers from depression or anxiety, and it kind of just started hitting me out of left field, and I wasn't really sure of where it was coming from, because I was being a really happy and positive person since starting Dawn Organics. And when these things were happening, it really perplexed me, even though I was being told by medical professionals that it might be, anxiety disorder, whatever. I wasn't believing that was the case, because I know my own body, and there's anyone watching this would probably agree with that. Like, if you've ever had any health problems, anything in the past, and it was kind of shrugged off and you've been told it's kind of like in your head, or maybe something different, but you obviously know your own body better than anyone, and when there's something not right internally, and if there's something else going on, that you're not getting the support and the recognition from medical professionals. So that was very much what I had faced. I spent a lot of money and time jumping around to different neurologists. I finally found a decent neurologist, and he said that I might have fibromyalgia, and he was listening to my complaints about what I've been sort of suffering with in the last decade almost. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years 2025, but we're almost in 2024. So it's been a good solid almost 10 years now that I've been jumping around from doctors. And so with the neurologist, I finally went to a neurologist, and I found a good one, and he didn't give me an official diagnosis. He said he might think it would be like it is fibromyalgia, but he said that it's looking, in his opinion, it was this thing called overactive nerve syndrome, or hyperinflatable nerves, which is what a lot of neurologists refer to it. But the problem with that was that it didn't explain half my symptoms, like the chronic fatigue and the spasming and the cramping and stuff like that. So, like, even though I was happy, like, I got some sort of diagnosis, I knew that it wasn't really covering all my symptoms. So I finally, got referred to a rheumatologist. His name's Dr. Fabio Kulok. He's in Parramatta here in New South Wales. Fantastic rheumatologist. I'm really glad that I was referred to him. And our referring doctor was, and I'm actually naming doctors here because I want people to know, like, if they know someone that's suffering with my condition, or if they think they might have it, they'll know where to go in Sydney, because I've been through so many GPs and neurologists and rheumatologists, and they've just been a complete waste of time, just making me believe, like, or trying to make me believe that it's in my head and it's not real, or there's something else going on, or whatever the case is. So Dr. Fabio Kulak is my rheumatologist, and I will provide links to their website and their clinics as well, so in case you need to go see them, or if you need to refer someone to go see them. He's really fantastic. And I've also started to see an exercise physiologist, and her name is Robin Yin, and she's also in this same medical facility, BJC Health in Parramatta, as Dr. Kulak as well. So she's been helping me do light exercises, and the reason why it's important for someone with fibromyalgia to do light exercises because it reduces pain and overall inflammation in the body. So it doesn't get rid of it, but it just helps reduce. So the whole point of all these is a reduction in symptoms and to make you feel as best as you possibly can with something like a nervous system problem. And the GP, I've got two really good GPs. I've got a prescribing doctor and a general practitioner now. They're new. They've only been like kind of around in the last 6 to 8 months for me. So Dr. George Hanna, he's in Grace Family Medical Centre. That's his practice over in Fairfield on Hassel Street. I think it's Hassel Street. And he's fantastic. Obviously going to him the first time in 2018, actually. He wasn't my main GP then, but I went to him once because it's when the vertigo kind of hit, and we just thought, like, it's going to pass over time, which, I thought that too. But now, as my symptoms progressed and got worse over time, the last time I seen him a few months ago, he agreed that it's looking to be fibromyalgia, because he has a few patients that, quite a few of them that have fibromyalgia. So obviously he's relating my symptoms to theirs. And he referred me to the rheumatologist, and it's been just fantastic now that I'm just getting answers. I'm not stressing. I'm not like over thinking things, like what's going on with me now that I have answers, and I have official diagnosis now from my rheumatologist. It's great. Like, it's just like a real load off my shoulders, and just knowing that I'm not crazy, because there are many times where I thought I was crazy and that there was something going on, and maybe I felt like at times I was going to die, and like maybe this is the end, and maybe I have to close Dawn Organics, and like this has been a real big struggle for me to keep my business afloat and keep it growing, and just not knowing what the future holds. It was very stressful. Very, very stressful. So, skipping on to symptoms of what I'm experiencing with fibromyalgia, and everybody experiences symptoms differently. Some might have some of what I have, some might have all of what I have, some might not have any of what I have. So it just depends. Right, so the symptoms I have been facing are definitely chronic fatigue and insomnia. It's really hard for me to sleep, and my chronic fatigue, I'm just always tired. It doesn't matter how much sleep I get, I'm just exhausted. And if I lay down still enough, I will be able to fall asleep for about half an hour, have a little bit of a nap, anytime during the day or night. So that's how fatigued I am. But generally, I don't sleep for more than 2, 3 hours at a time. So I'm always like constantly waking up. And another thing is that I experience is spasms and cramps all over my body. Um, so generally, those will wake me up, especially the spasms when I have like jolting in my shoulders and in my arms. That kind of jolts me awake. So that's a big reason of why I can't sleep for long periods. It's easy for me to fall asleep, but the insomnia, I guess, part of it comes in because of all these other things that are happening, like the jolting when I try and sleep. Um, and of course, with any nervous system disorder, there's always going to be some sort of depression and anxiety, and it's not because you're a sad person or you're an unhappy person. It's because your nervous system is not coping the way it should compared to a healthy nervous system, so it can lead to mental health problems. But it's coming from a different place. It's not coming from a place of trauma. It's coming from a place of the brain and the nervous system just doesn't know what to do when there's a lot going on, or if you're overstimulated with your senses, it can create anxiety, and it's just really very full on. And it feels like, for me, when I get like that I'm kind of like falling. And like when you go to sleep and you kind of like jump out of bed and you wake up and you're like, oh wow, like what was that? Like I felt like I fell into the ground in my dream, and then you jump up. So that jumping feeling is what happens when I get my anxiety. And also when I'm really tired, like when I feel like nodding off and I get that like jolt, that huge jump, like whoa, like wow. So sometimes it takes me a few attempts to finally get to sleep, and then I'll finally get to sleep for a few hours. So that's another aspect of what's going on. And any type of gastrointestinal issues like IBS, I suffer from IBS as well. Unfortunately, that's a side effect of fibromyalgia as well. And I get muscle fatigue all over my body. My muscles get really tired and sore and stiff, like really, really stiff. There were times where I was bedridden for weeks on end and I couldn't move. Really difficult, really painful to move. And I had put on quite a lot of weight. So I was always like hovering, because I'm quite tall, I was always hovering over the 100 kilo mark, which for me is a really healthy weight because I'm 6'4". So 6'4" is about 196 centimeters. And I was always hovering around the 100 kilo mark, but because of the lack of movement and eating the wrong stuff, I was eating more convenient stuff because I was always dizzy and feeling horrible. And obviously you go for the quickest and easier option. And obviously that was making me put on weight, considerable amount of weight. I think my heaviest I got to in 2022 was 145, like anywhere between 145, 148 kilos. And I felt horrible and it felt really yucky, and it just made all my symptoms worse. And I'm really happy that I have trimmed down now. I'm back to the 100 kilos, which is great. And other symptoms I get, memory problems, like I can't remember things, and I usually have a really sharp memory, but these last 12 months, my memory has not been very good. I'll forget things very quick and very instantly, and I have trouble concentrating, and I get sore eyes, and I get migraines and headaches, and really sore neck, and just muscles everywhere kind of get really sore and tense. And I have heat intolerance, so if it gets hot, like in summer, it's really hard to cope because I just sweat and I get so hot, and it's just, even in the middle of winter, it doesn't really have to be a hot day. If I'm just doing some physical activity, I'll just get this heat wave and I'll get very hot and sweaty. And if I don't sit down, there's been times in the past where I have fainted, or when it was undiagnosed, if I'm traveling somewhere from at a friend's house, I have gotten flustered and really hot that it actually triggered grand mal seizures. So if I get too hot and flustered and my nervous system gets too overloaded, I can collapse. I have collapsed in front of friends before, and I have been rushed to hospital, and my temperature goes through the roof. I think the last time, I think it was in 2015, I just had this really big heat wave all of a sudden. And it was in the middle of winter, actually, funny enough. And I was, went out, had a few drinks with some friends, and I ended up going back to their house, and I just crashed up their house and just spent the night there. And I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was just feeling like really hot and flustered. And then all I remember is getting out of bed, I wanted to go to the bathroom, wash my face. And the next thing I knew, I woke up, I was on the lounge room floor. And then I called the ambulance. I was able to reach for my phone because I took my phone with me, thankfully. And I called the ambulance, and the ambulance came and they took me, and my temperature was 43.5 degrees Celsius. So my temperature was very high, and I'm very lucky I didn't go into a coma or anything, because generally when your temperature goes that high, you just pass out, and you so I'm very lucky, very lucky. And when I got to the hospital, and they tested me, I was fine. Like, it was just this massive heat wave in my body, and there was no infection. There was no, just really odd. Like, that happened to me a couple of times, and it still does happen every now and then. But now I know to kind of sit down and drink lots of water and just relax, not like stress or anything like that, because I know it's just a flare up, and it's just a temperature thing that my body does. And I kind of know the early warning signs now when it's kind of starting to happen to me, and I just make sure that I take it easy, and just drink plenty of fluids. Keeping hydrated is really important. So other symptoms I kind of have, I think I've pretty much covered most of the symptoms I've been facing. I do get sore hips, and my groin gets kind of sore, like if I do too much walking or too much strenuous activity. So that's why for a long time it was mistaken for MS. Like, we were thinking, like it might be, multiple sclerosis, because it can happen with someone with MS. Like, the nerve damage for them, it kind of stops the messages going to, around the body, and then it will inhibit like walking or walking properly, or, limping. And some days I can walk with a limp. So that's why it's really easy to confuse the two diseases, or the two conditions, with each other. But I found that my prescribing doctor, his name is Dr. Jason New. He's actually at My Health in South Everleigh in Redfern here in Sydney, and he's a authorized prescriber of CBD oil. And so he gives me CBD oil with THC, which is a fantastic oil to take because it actually loosens my muscles, and I'm not as tight, and I can move a lot more freely, and it settles all my other symptoms that I'm experiencing with my condition. And it actually, one of the biggest thing with fibromyalgia, if you don't rest, if you don't have enough sleep, it makes all your symptoms worse. So I'm finding with the CBD oil, it makes me sleep throughout the whole night. But sometimes I still wake up, but nowhere near as much as before. And I'm having 8 times out of 10 now sleepless night. Not sleepless nights, full sleep nights. My night with full uninterrupted sleep, not sleepless nights. That's before I started taking it. But yeah, so I can sleep all the way through. And now if I need to have a rest like during the day, I can sleep very easily now. It's not a problem for me to fall asleep. I fall asleep so much easier now because of the medication. And it's made a huge difference in my life, and able to go about my day as normal, or as normal as possible. So, and my symptoms are always there. But it's just in terms of being able to manage them. And I guess not the right word, but I'm going to use that word anyway, kind of ignore them as much as possible. It's really important to kind of shut off in terms of symptom-wise, and just focus on the stuff that you're doing in the day. And of course, when it comes to soap making, which that I absolutely love. So these things keep me grounded and keep me positive. And that's why I say that Dawn Organics is not just a business for me. It's very purpose-driven, because it keeps me sane. If I didn't have Dawn Organics, I think I would probably have gone crazy, and I definitely would have lost my job if I was working somewhere else, or if I had a full-time job somewhere, because I wouldn't be able to manage working for someone. Like, how am I going to, take a rest, between, in the middle of the day while I'm going to tell my boss I have to sleep for 1 hour? Or that's just, not going to happen. So, so I'm very lucky in a sense where things kind of happened for me when they did, in terms of starting Dawn Organics, and in terms of when my symptoms kind of really started to get worse. I was still able to manage and work around my health problems running Dawn Organics and growing it. I could be doing a lot more with Dawn Organics to grow it double and triple of where it is now, but I have been choosing to let it grow organically, and I'm not pushing it too much because I don't want to take on too much and overwhelm myself and then be unwell with my condition. So I found that just growing it organically has been really, really effective for me managing, and I can manage slow increases, but I won't be able to manage on my own huge increases. Like, for example, if I was to get like 10 more stores at once or 5 more stores at once, it would be very overwhelming for me. So I approach stores 1 or 2 every few months. I just kind of leave it, and if I don't hear back, I don't take it personal so much anymore, because I know that I am not functioning optimally and 100%. So I am happy with how things are going at the moment, and I'm not there pushing Dawn Organics because I know I would crash, and it would be not a very good look professional-wise if I wasn't able to deliver, products, if stores want them, and, if I'm constantly out of stock and I can't keep up, that's not a very good look for me. So I don't take on too much, and online has really picked up for me in the last 2 years. It's been a real lifesaver. So I get great income online, and it's really, really starting to pick up. And again, with that, I don't push it. I just kind of let it grow organically because I do have a condition I have to live with. And I am improving over time, even though sometimes it does seem like I'm going backwards. Like, obviously, my viewers or my customers won't see that, but there'll be days where I get really unwell, but then when I bounce back and I'm doing better, I actually push myself a little bit more and I'm able to do more. So it's like it's a roller coaster ride, but each time I go around the roller coaster, I can go a little bit further. So I'm looking at that as a positive thing for me. And it's definitely something that that has been kind of a lifesaver for me in many, many aspects. The way the way Dawn Organics has grown, and me managing it around my health. So the CBD oil has just been a lifesaver. And the second lifesaver for me was actually quite unexpected, was following the ketogenic diet. So I did try the ketogenic diet a few years ago, and it's not because of my condition, because back then my symptoms were fairly mild and manageable and undiagnosed at the time. I didn't really like it at the time. Like, I got high blood pressure, I was getting palpitations and stuff, and I didn't realize that I was doing keto wrong. And on top of it, I wasn't having enough salt in my diet as well. I wasn't adding salt to my food. And the thing is, with ketogenic diet, it actually consumes sodium twice the rate compared to a normal carbohydrate type diet. So when I actually increase my salt intake, I use pink salt, so I don't use any of that crappy salt. And when I increased my vegetable intake as well, my blood pressure came back down, because this time when I started keto 8 months ago, I was absolutely fine. I didn't have those issues up until the 3-month mark, and it started to hit me again. And all it is just an electrolyte and sodium intolerant, like not intolerant, sorry, electrolyte and sodium imbalance. And I suggest you go and see Dr. Eric Berg. He is a fantastic physician. He's also got a YouTube channel and he's on Instagram, and he's an expert in keto. And I watch, I think, most of his videos. He's really good. And he mentioned that because I looked at why my blood pressure was going up, and I was able to rectify it within 24 to 48 hours, and my blood pressure went back down to normal, which is fantastic. So for those that don't know keto, I highly recommend you also go watch Dr. Berg. I will provide links below. Thank you very much, Dr. Berg. You are amazing, and I hope you actually watch this video, because he actually responded to one of my messages, and he was saying how fantastic it was that I was able to improve my condition with keto diet. So the reason why ketogenic diet is really effective for managing any autoimmune disease, whether it's fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, diabetes, gout, arthritis, you name it. It's fantastic because ketogenic diet, you actually stop running on insulin and stop consuming high carbs and sugar, and you keep that to a really minimal, and you start consuming high fat. And it's important to know that fat is not the enemy in keto, and it actually reverses a lot of problems as well, which I will touch base on in a second. So it's important when you start ketogenic diet, that you consume good fats. So I consume a lot of eggs, avocado. I cook with coconut oil, organic coconut oil, because it's high in MCT oil. And I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, so I consume cheese and feta and whole egg mayonnaise and just stuff like that, and cream. I know you can kind of do keto as a vegetarian. I'm not sure you can do it as a vegan. I'm not really familiar of how you're going to do it as a vegetarian, but there's heaps of videos out there. I just haven't really educated myself on that because I'm not really a vegetarian, so it hasn't really incentivized me to go out and kind of research it. So I just kind of created my own keto regime, and I test my keto constantly, especially when I introduce a new recipe or something new into my diet. I have the glucose strips and I just prick a little bit of blood and I test my keto just to make sure that I'm still in a nice keto range. So what keto is, you stop using insulin as energy, like to break down food, as convert it into energy, and you start using ketones, which is a chemical the liver creates, and you start using that to break down the food that you consume. And it's actually a very efficient way of energy production, because when you consume carbs and sugar, it has to convert them into fat when it's stored in your body, and it's an inefficient process. And over time, it can cause insulin resistance. That's why most of the population does have insulin resistance, and it usually sits in the stomach area. And Dr. Berg covers this topic in very, very much detail. And of course, he goes into the whole biology and chemistry behind it. So I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm just going to give the basic overall picture of what keto is. So keto is a great way to lose weight. I lost 45 kilos in 3.5 months. I lost it very quick. And a lot of people thought I was on Ozempic, and no, I'm not on Ozempic. I am on the ketogenic diet, and I feel great. I have a lot more energy. It has managed every single fibromyalgia symptom, not just a couple. Every single symptom I have with fibromyalgia, it has reduced. And I just feel so much better. Keto is a natural anti-inflammatory, and fibromyalgia is an inflammatory nervous system disorder. So it's just, my whole body just functions and feels better when I'm in ketosis. I feel so much lighter. I sleep a lot better. I'm not snoring anymore. It's just fantastic. I couldn't recommend keto enough. And there are so many sources out there saying that ketogenic is really bad, and that it causes insulin resistance, which is not the case. It actually reverses insulin resistance. It actually reverses type 2 diabetes. It reverses high cholesterol. It reverses fatty liver. It does so many things. And I was a pre-diabetic, especially when I got really big and I was very unhealthy and I had fatty liver and I had cholesterol. So I had all these things piling up on me. And I knew if I continued my lifestyle that I would definitely have a heart attack, or I would probably end up with diabetes, or who knows. So being 6 months on keto, I went and did blood test. I have no cholesterol anymore. My cholesterol is all perfect and looking very good. My fatty liver has completely reversed. I have no fatty liver whatsoever. I am not a pre-diabetic anymore. I have actually, I will show, lost a considerable, as you can see, I'm like nice and slender, and I haven't been like this for a very long time, but my stomach is actually flat. I have a little bit, and that's going slowly. So that's actually reversing my insulin resistance being in keto. So it's a fantastic way to reverse those problems. So what do I eat on keto? Oh, well, so many things, which gets to the exciting part. So I know I shared some sad news, I guess, depressing news about my health condition, but the great thing about being in keto, well, it improves my health condition and improves just me overall. I'm able to stay nice and slim. And the great thing is I can make beautiful tasting food and amazing keto desserts. And it just doesn't really feel like I'm restricting myself. It doesn't really feel like I'm on a diet. And I don't consider keto a diet. I consider it a lifestyle change and one for the better. So I eat like creamy mushroom chicken. I eat, obviously eggs with wraps and keto bread. I have olives. I have tomatoes. I have cucumbers, lettuce, rockets, like all those type of leafy greens. I make sauteed chicken, not with sugar though. I use monk fruit. I make keto cheesecakes. I make keto brownies, chocolate brownies. I make keto, like, I guess I don't even know what to call it, like, really. These are just things I kind of experimented with myself, but it's kind of like a pudding with chia. It's like a chocolate pudding. And when you put chia in and you put enough of it in there, it actually swells up and goes like jelly. So it's like really nice. Oh, it's so good. So keto cheesecake, the no-bake cheesecake I make, I use real fruit. So in keto, you can't eat actual fruit because it's really high in sugar and that'll knock you out of ketosis. So I eat like berries, like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and mulberries. I have a mulberry tree outside, and I just recently made a mulberry cheesecake. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely delicious. It's just so satisfying. And I find that when you're in proper ketosis as well, you don't eat much. I'll probably eat once a day, and I don't get hungry until 24 hours later. And most of the times after I eat, when I break my fast, because I do a lot of intermittent fasting, I'll kind of have a piece of cheesecake like a couple of hours later. I'm not hungry. I'm just being a little bit of a fat pig, really, because I just love the taste and, you just want it because it tastes so good. So often I'm just eating like a cheesecake or a brownie or whatever the case is because it just tastes really nice and I love having it with coffee. So it's just me being a bit of a glutton, I guess. But I could most definitely go the full 24 hours without having another drop of food, and it'll be totally fine. And I eat a lot of nuts as well. I eat a lot of peanuts and cashews. So even though cashews aren't keto friendly because they do have sugar and carbs in it, within moderation, there is a limit of carbs you can have when you're in keto. So you can have up to 50 grams of carbs and up to 30 grams of sugar. And of course, this number is very different for everyone. Some people might get knocked out of keto if they consume more than 30 grams of carbs or 10 grams of sugar. Some people can have 50 grams of carbs and 30 grams of sugar. I'm very lucky. I'm one of those people. And it doesn't knock me out. I've made sure I will have a handful of cashews. There were even times where I'll have actual wholemeal bread, 2 slices of that. And I'll test my keto and I would still be in keto. And so I've tried different things and I know what I can consume in a small dose or, in small quantities what I can't consume in large quantities. So I've done a have had 8 months to try things and to see, what works and what doesn't. So again, you'll come across a lot of keto diets online where they'll say, don't eat carrots, don't eat sweet potatoes. Oh no, you can't have those. Just don't listen to them, really. You can have those. I'm living proof that you can still be in healthy keto level and still lose weight and still experience all the health benefits that come with keto. I do sometimes have sweet potato when I steam vegetables or when I bake vegetables. Just a few slices. I mean, not like a whole sweet potato. Obviously, that will knock you out of keto. But I might have 5 or 6 slices. And I might have half a carrot or a full carrot in a big, like casserole dish of vegetables. I might not have the whole carrot and, the whole sweet potato at once. But when I put myself a serving of, broccoli and cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and all the keto low-carb vegetables that I consume, I'll put a few with it. And it will not knock me out whatsoever. I even had cappuccinos in the morning. Not with sugar, but just full cream milk. And even with the chocolate sprinkle on top, I'll even have that, and I'll still be in keto. So this is just like if you are strict mostly, you can have those little indulgences on the side where you can consume those things and it won't knock you out. So, but mostly I am very strict with what I eat to stay in a healthy range of keto. But I can have, like, say, cappuccino without, almond milk or whatever, full cream, actual whole cream. You can make bulletproof coffees, as they call it. And so if you like instant coffee, I like Nescafe. So at night time, I might have one, or late afternoon, I'll have a Nescafe and I'll put just pure cream in it. Not the thickened cream, just pure cream. And that's really nice, really, really nice. And the great thing about bulletproof coffee, if you're doing intermittent fasting, it doesn't knock you out of intermittent fasting mode. You actually stay in intermittent fasting mode and you still burn more fat and more calories, even by consuming bulletproof coffee. And I've consumed 3 a day and I've still been in my intermittent fasting. And you can feel when you're in intermittent fasting, you get all this energy. You can actually feel your body warming. Like in your health, not like to get hot and flustered, but your body warms up because it's burning fat. You can actually feel it. You can feel your body being a burning fat machine. And I've experienced that. And I still experience that even now that I've lost all my weight. I still, when I'm in intermittent fasting, I'm in a really healthy intermittent fasting and a really good range of keto. I feel my body's burning fat and I'm not storing any of the fat that I consume. My body's burning it and it's burning any excess all over my body. So I just feel, you just know, once you're in it long term, you'll understand what I mean. You won't really understand now. You're like, oh, not really. What is he talking about? But when you're in ketosis, you will realize these things that I'm talking about and not getting hungry for long periods, because we really do overconsume as a society. And when you eat carbs and sugar, you get hungry fairly quick. Like it's within 2 hours or 3 hours even, you can get hungry again. But when you're in proper keto and you're eating healthy keto and you're getting all the nutrients, you will not get hungry. Or you can go 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours without feeling like anything. And it's just fantastic. So I don't do intermittent fasting every day because I have reached kind of my goal weight now. I kind of alternate. I'll just go with how I feel in the day now. It's literally now just a day-by-day basis for me. So if I don't really feel like food or I just don't feel like eating, I just won't. And that could be 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row. And then I'll just go through this period for like a week straight where I'll eat 3 times a day. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, it's no set rule. It's fine. Like, obviously, if you're eating proper and staying within keto, it's absolutely fine. And you just do whatever works. And even if you do eat 3 times a day and you're not doing intermittent fasting, you will still experience weight loss and you will still experience the health benefits that come from being in the ketogenic diet. It does so many amazing things for the body. Again, I'll say, like, you'll read so much stuff. I've even come across nurses that, like, I've met in social gatherings, not so much me going to see them because I need to see a nurse or a doctor, but just meeting them through friends. And, other people would say to me, oh, how are you going? How are you managing your condition? Are you feeling all right? Because obviously my close friends are aware of what's happening. And there was this one instance where there was a nurse there, of course, Miss Know-it-all. I have a very love-hate relationship with the medical profession, as you can tell, what I've been going through over the last 8 to 10 years. And she was telling me how bad keto was, so bad for the heart, so can cause cholesterol, heart attacks, blah, 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 blah. And I really shouldn't be on it, so bad for fibromyalgia. And I'm like just rolling my eyes out. I'm thinking, you have no idea what you're talking about. I don't care how much training you think you've had. But I was very firm in not allowing her to, because she was a little bit of a bully. And it's one thing to kind of have an opinion, but it's another thing to tell someone they're wrong when they've proved right about what the conversation's about. Like in my terms in keto, it has helped my fibromyalgia. So, I mean, it's not a placebo. It enabled me to move more. It enabled me to get out of bed straight away from waking up. It enabled me to lose all my weight, to reverse all these things like, my cholesterol and all those things I mentioned earlier. So I mentioned that to her and she still kind of, like, she goes, oh, really? I didn't know that. Like, but I could tell that she wasn't really buying what I was saying, but that's okay. I mean, my brother-in-law doesn't have fibromyalgia, but he had, like, really bad cholesterol. He's got that cholesterol gene in his family. All his family members have it. My sister's husband. And he reversed his cholesterol and his extreme fatty liver. Like, it was much worse than I was with keto in a matter of, like, 6 months. So, I mean, even that's another scenario where it reverses all these things that they're otherwise being told that it doesn't reverse, actually causes it. But, yeah, that's not the case. So, yeah, like, I eat a lot of avocados. I love avocados. I'll just eat it like that, or, I'll make salads. I make this beautiful feta Greek salad. And in the coming weeks, just let me know what you guys think. I will be actually releasing videos on me making food and desserts, keto stuff. And I think the first thing I'm going to film and upload is my no-bake cheesecake. So I got the recipe from my sister, but I tweaked it and I do things a little bit different from how my sister does it. But essentially the idea, I got it from her because she was in keto for years and years before I even attempted keto. But what made me start keto was because I did read from like holistic and alternative type views and Chinese medicine type views that keto does help with autoimmune problems. And I'm thinking it might help with fibromyalgia. And 100%, I'm so glad that I took the plunge because it did. And it's just amazing. Like, so I think we're going to start off Dawn Organics Keto Lifestyle Kitchen, I think I'm going to call it, or something like that. I'm going to start off making no-bake cheesecake, and I use fresh strawberries or blueberries. So you can eat blueberries on the berry family. Obviously not a huge amount. Like, it still does have sugar, but it's very low in sugar. So I have a punnet of strawberries, 250 grams. I've even had 500 grams in one day. And even in one sitting, I'll just eat. I'm like, oh, wow, these strawberries are really good. And, of course, an hour later, I'll go test myself. I'm still on really good range keto. And it works really, really good for me. So I will be releasing those videos. And I'm really excited to share that with you because I'm able to enjoy such delicious food that otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Like, you can still have outside of keto, obviously. But you wouldn't really be able to have it like daily or really indulge in it because you're like, oh no, high fat and, it's going to cause all these problems. And it would, like if you weren't in keto, like obviously if you're not in keto and you're consuming a lot of fat, yes, it potentially will cause fatty liver and cholesterol and stuff in your body. But if you're in keto, your chemistry in the body is different. It's processing and breaking down food and producing energy differently than where the pancreas, throwing insulin at the food, you having the liver producing ketones for the body to actually break down the food. So it's just a chemistry difference, like your body's just running on different chemistry. And I found also another great benefit of keto, which is fantastic. It actually reduced my wrinkles. Like, I actually look a lot younger now than what I did before keto, even when I was thinner and I was healthier. It's great for anti-aging. Like, your face just goes nice, and like, I used to have like really dry skin in winter. I don't have dry skin in winter anymore. Like, my body I do, but not my face. And the face obviously is the first thing that ages, that shows age, signs of aging. And my face hasn't been dry in winter, and it hasn't been oily in summer. Surprisingly, my body will get oily, and that's why I'm, use soap for that, to control, oil like in summer, and to control my dry skin in winter. But the face, it's just so good for your skin being in keto. I just realized, and everyone commented, especially when I lost the weight, but it's not just about the weight loss, it's about my skin. Everyone was saying, wow, what are you doing to your face? What are you using? And of course I do use good products on my face. I swear by Keely's facial moisturizers, gel serums, and her face wash, gentle face wash in the shower. I use that as well. So, and I'll provide links to that in the description as well. And I just big shout out to Keely from Soy and Shay. Her facial products are outstanding. Outstanding. I am addicted to her facial products. My mum is addicted. I put in a fairly large order with Keely because I just love her products, her facial stuff. All her stuff is great. But of course, I don't make moisturizers and stuff. I'm a soap person, so I kind of stick there. But Keely's just got this huge skill set. She makes moisturizers and lotions, and they're just, oh man, couldn't recommend it enough. So I use that. So obviously that helps a lot, obviously keeping hydrated. But I've only been using Keely's stuff, I think, in the last 2 to 3 months. So prior to that, I was not really using anything. Every now and then I'd use Mugu or something. But yeah, no, Soy and Shay, mate. Oof, you really got to use that. So yeah, definitely go to her website and try it. But before even using that, people were just saying, what have I been doing? I look younger. My skin's looking really good. And keto is just fantastic for that. So if you want to control anti-aging and control fine lines and your wrinkles, I found it just reduces the appearance. Really, really good. Really, really good. Really happy with what it's done to my skin. And just overall, my skin is a lot healthier. And I feel a lot better. And really, really great. Right, so hopefully I just wanted to go over quick about what I have plans for Dawn Organics. Of course, I'm still going to be doing soap videos and all that. But occasionally I want to release a video on maybe once a month, or I don't know, I'll see how I feel. Just depends how I feel. In regards to cooking in the kitchen and making yummy desserts and yummy food. Oh, yum. I can't wait to share them with you. They're just so delicious. And yes, just fantastic. It's great. And one thing I will point out is, so when you're in keto, I do a keto reset. So you'll find a lot of information online about keto resets. So if you're planning to go into keto, stay in keto. Don't jump in and out. It's actually, that's when you can damage your heart. So if the chemistry in your body, keto, insulin, you will actually do damage to your heart because it's a huge chemistry change and it puts a lot of stress and pressure on the heart and on the body. So yes, you will come across articles that say it can damage the heart, but that's only half true. It only damages the heart if you keep jumping in and out rapidly. And one day you're eating keto and your body goes into ketosis, and then you start eating, I don't know, ice cream and all these things, and then it's oh wow, you jump out of it and then you jump in, and then that's when you do the damage. So I don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do in keto. So I do a keto reset. So every 8 to 12 weeks, I have 1 week break, right? Recently, I actually went 24 weeks straight, and I noticed it wasn't really good for my. I'm just going to keep it clean. So I wasn't as regular, and I was a little backed up, if you know what I mean. So I found when I went up to too long, it was affecting my digestive system. So not enough fiber over a long period. So I found now every 8 to 12 weeks. So now I'm doing every 8 weeks because I've reached my goal weight. But before it was 12 weeks, I would have 1 week break every 12 weeks. But since I did go 24 weeks, I had 2 week reset. So when I came out of keto, I didn't just shove my face with ice cream or whatever. You come out of it slowly. So I'd have, a couple of pieces of bread, just normal white bread. And then I might have just a little bit of a lolly, just like slowly, I'll have a little bit of potato, or I went and got some chips from my local, fish and chip shop, just to slowly come out of it, not like shove your face with too much. So you slowly come out of it, then enjoy. Have ice cream the next day, whatever you feel like. I went and I had KFC, I had frozen yogurt, I had chocolate sundae, I had all these things in my break, and then I made sure in that break that I wasn't in keto. So I would consistently stay out of keto for my reset. And then when I'm in keto, I would consistently stay in keto for a minimum 8 weeks. So I found that is the sweet spot, 8 to 12 weeks with a 1 week reset. Go as much as you can, like up to 12 weeks, but at the 12-week mark, I recommend do a 1 week reset, 7 days, 7 to 8 days. It's really important for your digestive system. It's really important for the fiber, for you not to start lacking fiber, and just keeping everything flowing and great. And I found that when I reached the 115 kilo mark, I stopped losing weight, right? I didn't lose any more weight. Even though I'm still in keto and I'm still doing all the right things, I'm thinking, oh, why not? So I researched online, and it's important to do the reset, because when I did the reset and then I went back into keto for another 8 to 12 weeks, then I lost my 15 kilos. So your body kind of gets used to it in a sense, and it stops being efficient. So those resets are really important. It's like a system reset. You're just resetting everything. And then once you go back into keto, it'll start to burn fat again and you'll start to lose weight. So when I went from 145 to 115, I stopped losing weight. And now I went from 115 to 100. Now I'm like 99, 98. So I'm hovering around that mark. And I probably will continue to lose weight. Whatever. I mean, if that's what is going to happen, that's what's going to happen. But I definitely would not have reached this weight if I didn't do the reset, because I was stuck at 115. So keto resets are really important, and they're important for your mental health too. Like, in the sense of you can eat whatever you want and you like indulge yourself. It's not going to be harmful on your body. It definitely has not been harmful for me doing the resets. It's been a positive thing, and definitely, if you do decide to try keto, 100% do resets every 8 to 12 weeks. They're really important. And make sure you consume enough salt, pink salt or Celtic salt, just unrefined salt that has all the minerals in it. It's really important. And I take a multivitamin as well, and it's a herbal one. So I get like all my nutrients and stuff, just a little bit of a boost as well. I take magnesium because I do cramp and spasm with my condition, so having that extra magnesium just alleviates a little bit of it and just help reduce the severity. So I find magnesium and a multivitamin really help. I take vitamin C as well. That really, really helps, just like in case I get ill, I recover quick. And another benefit of being in keto, when you do become ill, like with a flu or a cold or anything, you recover so much quicker. Like this time I had COVID when I was in keto. I was only lightly sick for 24 hours and I had no symptoms after that 24 hours. I recovered very quick. After day 3, I was testing negative to COVID. So I tested positive, obviously, when I tested, because I started to get symptoms. Mild, I just got a little bit of a runny nose, a little bit of a sore throat. And I was a little bit dizzy. And because I do have fibromyalgia, when I do get some sort of infection or whatever, I notice, because my nervous system starts to act up a bit, and my anxiety starts a little bit as well. So that's when I know, oh, something's going on. I've caught something. So I'm like, I bet you it's COVID because I know how it feels to get COVID. I know it's weird, but the first time I got it, I was sick for about a week before I started to feel better. And the symptoms, I wouldn't say severe, but I mean, I wasn't able to move much. Like I had to kind of rest and stuff. But I knew like I had a specific type of headache with COVID. And when I got it the second time, I had that same headache and I knew it was. So as soon as I tested, it was positive. But the second time being in keto, I recovered very quick from COVID. It didn't hit me. Um, and yeah, so like it's just so many health benefits with COVID. With COVID, there are just so many health benefits with being in keto. You recover from infections very quick because infections, whether viral or bacterial in the body, they thrive on sugar and carbs and they consume that to further reproduce in the body. But if your body is lacking sugar and carbs, which is in keto, it is, they don't have an opportunity to rapidly reproduce, and it gives your immune system a chance to kill it before it fully becomes infectious and really the symptoms start to show itself. And the immune system also in keto runs more efficiently. Yeah, so like so much information on the immune system when you're in keto, how it kills pathogens and bacteria and viruses in the body. So there's just so many benefits to keto. It's just a no-brainer. It's not, the only time it's not really for someone if you've got like heart failure. I think that's probably the only time it's not a good idea to be in ketosis, or if you're type 1 diabetic. I'm pretty sure that's when ketosis is not good. But then I've read other stuff like people that are type 1 diabetics, they are in keto and they're fine. So just read up on it and just make an informed decision. I'm not telling you what to do or, I'm just giving you my experience with my health condition and what I'm able to achieve with keto. And obviously do your own research and make informed decisions for yourself. It's obviously all these things I shared to you today are not cures. They're just to help manage. And they help manage my symptoms and my illness and my condition. So I highly recommend keto to everyone out there. So I thought I'll just do a video, a non-soapy one, and just letting everyone know what's been happening with me over the last few years, especially the last 2 years when my symptoms have really been severe. And big shout out to people that have really supported me over the years, like Ellie from Ellie's Everyday. She's been a really, really great support for me and listening to me as well. And even before my diagnosis, she just never made me feel like I was crazy or that's in my head. And she's just been a really fantastic support. So thank you very much, Ellie, for being the amazing human that you are. Also, thanks to Cassandra Hill from Cassandra Hill Soap. She's down in Melbourne. I had the pleasure and liberty of meeting her in my last visit. And she's been a really, really great support for me and just someone that obviously didn't think I was crazy before I got my official diagnosis. And she's become a very, very good friend of mine, and I consider her a dear friend, and I'm very close with her. And we share all sorts of stuff with each other. I think we know each other pretty well now. And it's been the same with Ellie too. We know each other very, very well. And I've had the pleasure of knowing and getting to know really well Keely from Soy and Shay. She's also been a great support. She's a fantastic human and I absolutely adore her. Just really, really great, really grateful. And I'm just really thankful for everyone in the Facebook group, the Dawn Organics Facebook group, which I will provide a link in the description below. Everyone there, because I shared everything in this video with people in the Facebook group first, maybe I think 5 or 6 months ago now. And everyone's just been super supportive. And hey, even some other of my viewers have fibromyalgia. So it was really great to know that other people, I mean, not great in a sense, like I'm not happy other people have my condition, but it was great to know that there was other people that know me or, that are viewers or that are part of the group that potentially could benefit from this video and future videos that I release in regards to keto and how I manage my symptoms. And just, amazing people in the group too, like that have gone through chemo and that have cancer survivors, and just so much amazing things that the human spirit can do even in the worst of times, that you push through. And it was just amazing to see and hear and just witness all these different stories, people's backgrounds, people's lives. And it's fantastic, just fantastic. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group, definitely go there, because we have amazing members there. And just ones on top of my head that big thank you to is, I think there's two Heathers, so hello, two of them. I'm not going to say last names just in case people get upset or whatever. So hi Heather number one, and hi Heather number two, and Holly Deegan as well. Who else? I know my memory is very bad, so forgive me if I can't remember everyone's name. But I'm trying my best. I know there's Holly. I know there's Shweta. So hi Shweta. I know there's I should know her name. Oh my god. Apologies if I forget. And I just responded to one of her comments in the group, like, I should remember her name. Oh my gosh. Now I'm just having a complete blank. I will put the name up here in case I can't remember. Alicia. That's it. Hi, Alicia. Many people. But those are the ones I can just think of at the top of my head. And of course, Magella. Magella is another one. Hello, Magella. Haven't heard from you for a while, so I will be calling you soon. Yes, just amazing people. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I shall see you at the end of the month with another video. And until then, thank you very much. Take care. Thanks for supporting the channel and me and buying from me and everything. It's really been a lifesaver for me, more than what you would ever have thought or would have imagined. Even me, more than what I ever would have thought or ever imagined. Dawn Organics has been a lifesaver for me and has kept me going and will continue to keep me going. And I'm very thankful. Love you all very much. From the bottom of my heart, take care, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.